Hi Pisces, this is Rebecca from Being Human Tarot. Bringing all of my fish friends out there, a reading for August 2018. I switched it up this month and I'm, sorry, an animal situation. Okay, maybe I'll just keep going. Don't look there. I've switched it up this month and I'm doing a 3-card spread instead of the 5-card spread. I feel like it's a little more compact. And the first position stands for what to focus on this month. The second position stands for what to set aside this month. And then the third position is just an additional consideration for the month overall. Also, I am pulling sort of like a bonus oracle card from Krans, from Kim Krans's Animal Spirit deck, which there's the box if you're familiar with her and her beautiful line drawings. So, to get into it, in your card of focus for the month, sorry, there's some parrot noises. If he gets really bad, I'll pause this and escort him from the room. But so your focus for the month, you drew the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is all about being grounded, being practical. He's a king, so he has that leadership and actionable kind of movement that all of the kings do. His in particular is, I was going to use the word calm, but with maybe the exception of the King of Wands, none of the kings are super out there in terms of, they're all pretty level-headed. Okay, he is being a little loud, so I'm going to pause this real quick and then I'm going to get right back to your reading. Sorry for the distraction. Thank you for being patient. Okay, so, yeah, so as I was saying, all king energy is kind of, is actionable and going forward in a specific way. With the King of Pentacles, it's a little bit slower. It's a little bit more thought out. I already said practical, but I mean, I could say that several times just to like drill it in. Be practical this month. Emulate the King of Pentacles and in the way that he leads is what the cards are telling you. So for example, if you have some kind of opportunity to act on something this month that's a little bit more risky, now is maybe not the best time for that. It's not to say ever, it's just that right now the cards are calling you to be a little bit more careful, particularly with finances. So this month is a great month to get things in order. If you're someone who's self-employed and has to deal with kind of like I think it's, I'm not self-employed, so I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, but I know that there's different ways to file, and also this is totally US centric, so if anyone's watching outside the United States by chance, sorry for that specific focus of an example, but you know, you may or may not pay taxes too. So anyway, getting a little distracted there. My point was, if you were someone who has to like kind of like quarterly take an accounting of your finances and get those things collected, now's a great month to do that. Now's a great month to cut back on spending, not make any frivolous purchases, reel in your budget, just be really good with all of those things. I know he's not the King of Pentacles isn't exactly like the party animal king of the court cards, but for your set aside of the month, you drew the King of Cups, which is interesting. to draw a king to focus on, and then to draw a king that you should dial back a slice. So as a Pisces, of course, you're a water sign. Cups are a water sign. So there's probably, the King of Cups is, so there's probably a lot of, you can relate to, you know, the court cards in the cups, I would guess, a bit more than the other suits. But as great as the King of Cups is, you know, he's all about emotional control and respecting feelings in a very mature way, where he's able to not repress kind of complicated or challenging or hard feelings, but also doesn't get bogged down in them. Like, doesn't deny, lets him feel the full range, respects what they are, but doesn't let them rule him, which is super hard for anyone. And it's great. So you might be asking, like, why would I put that aside for the month? And the answer isn't that you should ever put that particular skill aside, but the answer is, whoa, I almost dropped the card. The King of Pentacles and like how he rolls is more important for you this month than what might come more naturally to you as the King of Cups. So if you tend to be a little bit more persuaded by how you're feeling about something, you know, like maybe it's more of a gut instinct than what advice friends might give you more objectively, it's not a good time for that. It's a good time to kind of step outside from what feels most natural to you, and challenge yourself and be like, WWKPD, what would King of Pentacles do? Sorry, it's awful. But, you know, it's hard. It's hard to step out. Like, you know, I'm an earth sign, so conversely, it's hard for me to step outside of kind of like those tendencies, those more grounded tendencies, and like take more risks. So it's not saying that you should put the King of Cups just aside forever. It's part of you. It's a beautiful part of you. But this month is more of a time to be challenging yourself about what might be a little bit more practical, what might have you been ignoring. Also, ignoring that you need to take care of. Also, Pentacles is having to do with the body. So it could be health, could be a health thing. Maybe you'd prefer to not think about something that's been kind of troubling you for a bit, but it's really time to go to the doctor to get it checked out. In your card for additional considerations, you drew Strength. This is such a gorgeous card. I mean, this card itself, the illustration, I like a lot. In all decks, I feel like I've seen few decks with strengths cards that I didn't love. It's well illustrated. But anyway, the card is really telling you. Sorry, sometimes I pause for what feels like longer than maybe I should be, but it's just because I like to be careful about what I say and not just kind of stumble over things, and so then I'll like pause for longer, and I hope that doesn't take away from the video too much, because I know it's not quite as like snappy as other readers. So thanks for bearing with me as I think about things. But anyway, the Strength card and your additional consideration is super positive. because it's acknowledging that the work that you're doing this month to be like the King of Pentacles is not easy. It's not easy. I'm an earth sign, and that the King of Pentacles isn't easy for me. So it's acknowledging that it's going to be difficult this month to ground yourself a little bit more, to kind of step outside what feels most natural and comes easiest to you. But it's showing that you're completely capable of doing that. You have everything you need to do that. So you shouldn't fear. You're totally ready. It's a little bit, you know, it's going to be just, there's going to be discomfort. But in the end, you totally got this. Now I will discuss your spirit animal card, which, sorry, I feel like a lot of the time when I lift a card up, I'm like, it's a great card. It's a great card. And it's just because I love tarot so much, and I also really love this this other deck that I just love looking at the cards. And so, sorry if that gets a little bit repetitive. I'm apologizing a lot in this video, so I'm going to stop doing that too. Anyway, you drew the bee, which is kind of like the perfect mix. I hope that it's focusing and you can see the detail, because it's really good. She's a great artist. Bee is a great mix of King of Pentacles, because hardworking, diligent, right? Making that honey, droning on, depending on your role as a bee. And the King of Cups. Because if you think of like the work of a bee and what it's achieving, it is sort of this, like, I was gonna say beautiful emotional energy, but I don't know if that really makes sense outside of my brain. But it's like, I guess, without, I'm gonna sound super hippy dippy, but the magic of making honey feels sort of cup sign to me. So it's kind of, it's a balancing act of being true to yourself, but also doing that hard work and being that practical guy. Also, I don't know that bumblebees can sting, but a lot of other bees can, which, you know, is arguably, stinging is arguably some cups energy, right? You're hardy, you're gonna stand up for yourself, you have the strength to do so this month. So I would say that the bee card in this reading is just a reminder that you're not being asked to be different from who you are as a person, but you are being tasked with being grounded and practical in a way that might be a little bit different for you. Maybe it's not, you know. Pisces come in many shapes and forms and are not all, you know, carbon copies of each other. So for some of you, this will be a lot easier. For some of you, this will be a little bit harder. So that's your reading for the month. I know that I got on like some side tangents there several times, but hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up, and super love it if you wanted to subscribe to the channel. If you click the bell icon next to subscribe, you'll be automatically updated when I post the new suite of videos for all the signs, which I'll do before the 1st of every month. Sometimes a little bit closer to the 1st of every month, depending, but I'm serious about my deadlines and I want to get all of those up so that you can get a look at the month to come before it's the actual month. And so with that, I'll end your reading, And I'm just gonna pause this and pan down so that you can see the cards all together. That's it. Okay. Bye, Pisces. So as you can see, here's your full reading. Got the King of Pentacles, King of Cups, Strength, and that pretty Kim Krans card with the bee. Thanks for tuning in. See you next month.